you're constantly refining yourself. And I think that's the whole idea with growing as a person. And if you're not doing that on a consistent basis, you're not really growing. And I don't like, I get these feelings because I don't like to feel complacent and in the same situation. I like to be growing my career and making things happen. And in 2018, I actually had to kind of like restart my entire life. So at 29, 30, something like that, I had to completely start over. I mean, the college that I worked at was a private college. There was some bad ownership and they fucked up the sale of the college, and then the buyer backed out, and then the college immediately went under within a week. And so like hundreds and hundreds of employees, hundreds of students were just dropped. And that happened in late 2017. And then I went through another series of like personal stuff in my life, breakups and stuff and things like that all happened at the same time. You know, it was like one of those when it rains, it pours years. And essentially I had to start over at 30, like literally start everything over at 30. And so, you know, things happen, and, you know, this happens to a lot of people. They lose their job. They lose a loved one or something, and then they really just have to start over. And I think being able to power through those things and then go, all right, now I got to pick stuff up and then keep on trucking and try to figure out how this is going to happen. And, you know, these things lead to other things. I thought I had the coolest job in the world teaching at the college. And now I teach at this arts high school that pays way more than the college, which is so weird. And I found I even get more personal fulfillment out of helping these kids because I feel responsible for them. You know, it's different when you have an adult come in, and I will say it's an easier interaction with an adult. Like at a college, I could, if they were acting up or being idiots in class, I could be like, get the fuck out. But at the high school, I can't do that. I have to be like, what's going on? Okay, let's work on this. Let's make sure you're like, that's fine, you know, and like actually be more supportive. Not that I wasn't supportive at the college. I was. It was just, you know, if someone was being an ass, I had more of an opportunity just to be like, dude, you're an adult, get out. Whereas with the high school kids, it's more a helpful thing. So, so things evolve and change. And, you know, without that experience, I wouldn't be at the high school, which is a small part of what I do, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's not much of my day to day. And, but I started a business, you know, I started an in-home lessons company in town. I never would have done that. I doubled my rates at that moment too. Never would have done that. You know, then that slowly, you know, builds year after year. First year started the business, and this is at 30. First year started the business. Second year started teaching at the music school. This is an arts high school, so I started teaching like music theory and jazz ensembles and stuff like that. So essentially just hands-on music related classes. And then from there, then it was COVID. So
strong
so
start.
Year 3 COVID hits. And then, you know, I think everyone kind of took a break in 2020, whether you trucked through or whatever. I felt like I felt like I continued to work and make stuff happen, but not in a progressing way. I felt like I really just like buckled down and tried to weather the storm in 2020. I had a lot of work. So I did actually have a lot of work. I ended up having to do a lot of stuff at the high school, which was great, but I felt like I didn't really progress much that year outside of like, I guess, in the way I would have liked to. It was just like working and making money, which is good. Right. It's great. But I didn't feel like I was moving my career along in a good way. And that's the wrong word. I wasn't like progressing my career along. It was just, I was doing the work that was that needed it done right at that moment. And then 2021 hit, and then I kind of picked it back up and released an album. And then, after the album was released, you know, that was kind of more when like released the album, made some videos, and I was like, God, I really hate making these videos. Like I hate like trying to perfect these guitar videos and spending so much time. And then like, doesn't seem like people really care that much. Not that they don't, but I was like, and there's so many other guys doing this. So many guys, so many great players recording themselves online playing guitar. And I was like, how am I going to compete? I can't really compete. Like even these guys 10 years younger than me are playing, you know, we're playing at the same, like we're all at this crazy level. And it's like, I need to differentiate myself in some way because I don't have any groundbreaking parts. I'm not a groundbreaking player. I strive to be well-rounded. I have the things that I enjoy doing more. And I think I've developed more, but like I try to be a well-rounded player. That's comes from the schooling of going to music school is like be a well-rounded player. And I want to do a little bit of everything. And so I just had this realization of like, I don't know if I can really compete in this guitar playing sphere anymore in a tangible way to like, I'm not going to be Tosin. I'm not going to be like any of these like people, or I'm not going to be Pliny. I'm not going to be these people. And then I just was, at the same time, it was like, you teach for a living, man. You always have. Like that's been my career for my entire music career has been focused around teaching. Right after college, started teaching at a college. That college went away within a year and a half. I was now then at another music school, like a arts high school. So then it was just like, kind of like, this just needs to happen. I need to shift, you know, my social media presence and all that stuff needs to be focused more on teaching. Because that's where the long-term stuff for me exists. Like that's where the long-term goals can be achieved. That's where the I guess success or that's not the word I'm looking for. The sustainability and enjoyment and all that good stuff I think comes from that because the feedback from the lesson stuff is so much more so where I feel like I'm affecting people more like in a positive way as opposed to like when I release music, people be like, you're great. And I never really felt good from compliments about my playing. I always was like, cool. Like it's really weird. Like I do not take compliments well in the sense that like it's almost like I don't believe them. It's like if someone was like, hi, like, hey, like that's how I feel when someone gives me a compliment about my playing. I'm just like, sweet, thanks, man. And then I don't really, you know, think anything beyond that. But when someone's like, that lesson really helped me. That was really great. I love the way that broke down. I'm like, sweet. Like, that's great. Like, I'm so happy that helped you. Because that light bulb thing, I think affecting people, I realized it's weird. It's weird. Like how you can feel, have that kind of shift. Cause like I get more enjoyment out of seeing someone else get enjoyment than like someone giving me a nice compliment. Maybe it's because I feel like I you know, all guitar, I feel like we all feel like we suck. Like even the best players, like I'm not that good. And so when someone says a nice comment, I'm like, yeah, I'm not that good.
It's the automatic response, isn't it? Just like, well, I messed up that bit, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's, I think, why. Whereas when someone says something helped them, I'm like, it did? Sweet. That's great. And I mean, the stuff I'm teaching is not anything new. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of people teach. It's just, I just try my best to break it down in a way that people can understand it and make sense of it as opposed to like just sharing the information. So I don't know. I went on a little rant there.